The records are now open. Welcome to another episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. I am your host, Emily Harrison, founder and director of the Akashic Academy. Also a mentor to other lightworkers in the realm of the Akashic Records, which is a beautiful job. The Akashic Records open up our connection to infinite wisdom in the cosmos. What can you do with infinite wisdom? Well, that is a fantastic question. There are infinite number of answers to that. We can heal. We begin to self-actualize. We truly know and learn how to love ourselves. And when we do that, we begin to develop magical skills. Miss Nance, who's joining me today, it's Apollo. I talk a lot with my hands, and he gets very, very, very excited about that. So I want to welcome you to this very sacred space. I also want to invite a few friends to join us as we create this beautiful sacred classroom for all of us to learn, grow, and expand. It truly is a beautiful thing to share that. And the more souls that we have here illuminating together with us, the more we get growth and expansion. Nance, I know. You told me, you said, don't let him bite you like that. Don't let him play with you like that. Paulo, you're getting me in trouble with Miss Nance. Will you stop it? Good grief. Nancy, talk to him, please. I'm going to share this out with some friends. I'm going to invite you guys to please share as well. Also, share where you're from. Type in the comments quickly. Give us a little hello and share where you're from. We are a global audience, and part of our expansion is to begin to have the awareness of where we're connecting, who's coming into this sacred circle with us. It is a beautiful way to allow your visual mind to begin seeing this light spread across the planet. So I'm going to invite my friends to come and share this experience with us, and encourage you to invite your friends too. There we go. The purpose of us all hanging out here today is to bring in not only individual insight for each one of you, because I know you're on big missions. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be watching, you wouldn't be tuning in if you weren't feeling the call to grow and expand in your life. And the Akashic Records carries all the information from your past, your present, all possible futures, stored from a neutral perspective. And neutrality, guys, that is where it's at. Neutrality is unconditional love and zero judgment. This is the most powerful space in the universe. And this is where I am bringing in the answers and the insight for you today. You can go ahead and start typing in your questions. Ask away. There is no holds barred in terms of what kinds of questions you can ask. However, I will share that if you ask a time frame question, meaning when will I find that true love of my life, you're likely not going to get an increment of time as humans experience time. You're going to get a gateway, meaning once you finally learn to love yourself and respect yourself and honor yourself, okay, it's going to be a gateway. We can also go in and bring in transmissional energy, okay? So this information that we're accessing not only brings us insight and guidance, but it has its own consciousness. So if you are asking a question, that's why I encourage you guys, ask your questions even if I don't get to your individual question today, because I have open sacred energy here, sacred space for each one of you to begin to access your Akashic Records, whether it's through me or not through me. I'm only the facilitator of the energy. Every single person has the ability to do this once they come into a contact and assimilation with someone else who is doing it, or when you stumble onto it, sometimes in the dream realm or sometimes in a deep meditation, we can all stumble onto the Akashic Records. Now, when I'm working with my students, I train my students on a specific method to enter the records, and I train them on how to use the Akashic Records. But nothing stops you from going into the space of your records. And when you are coming into this sacred classroom, this vessel that we have created right here, right now, you are in the presence of your Akashic Records. So I encourage you to ask your questions, even if I don't get to them. I'm holding the intention that Spirit will illuminate and make alive within you that knowledge which you are seeking today. And I'm also excited to dive into some of your individual questions, because I know and I trust this process, that they represent the patterns the collective is moving through right now. And even if I do not select your question, if the message resonates with you, I want you to know it is for you, your guides, your light being teachers, your masters, your ancestors, your guardian angels are all gathered here in this space to support, because the intention of being here is the expansion of love and consciousness towards yourself in your life, directed inward and illuminated outward, and this is what will change the planet. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to start reading some comments here. Crystal Ann said, oh my OMG, I clicked on this video and my ear started ringing. Well, I hope that I didn't ding my triangle too much. Brittany said that was meant, that you were meant to be here. I also want to honor you, Crystal Ann, for when the ears begin to ring, that is an attunement of our clairaudience, our clear inner hearing. And thank you for bringing that into this collective space, because we are a collective. This is a one space. We all share that energy and expansion. So, Crystal Ann acknowledging that brings in a clairaudient activation for each one of us. How does your clairaudience work? How is it going to assist you? Let me share a couple ways that you might begin to see it turn on. Okay? You might find that you are in a particular mental state and processing through some stuff in your mind when a song comes on the radio with the most beautiful message that recenters and shifts you. That's an example of your clairaudience working in the physical coming and your guides using what you actually hear as a message for you. Okay. It can also mean that you begin to hear in your inner ears. You might hear the channeling of your higher self coming in. So one is a very practical, kind of a more everyday experience of your clairaudience turning on. The other is pretty meta. All right? Don't worry if you start to hear yourself talking to yourself, okay? All right, let's dive in and grab some more questions here. Amber Elizabeth Allen says, what gift am I supposed to focus on? All right. Oh, well, it's interesting that you would ask gifts, and we've already started, like the energy that we all need right here, right now, it all flows from one into the other. So the fact that Crystal Ann brought in the clairaudience, Amber, work on that gift. Work on clairaudience, because I feel like that will open you up to channeling. Does channeling scare you, my dear? All of a sudden I was like, oh, I felt that energy. Now, recognize channeling doesn't always have to be, oh, Angie, good. Angie hears voices in channeling. You don't have to be Amber to be receiving this message, by the way. If it resonates with you, this message is for you. It resonates for Angie. So Angie, I'm glad that you acknowledge that. It's great. If a message resonates for you, don't be afraid to step up and say, hey, that resonates for me too. You're not stealing anybody else's energy. You're just adding to it. Okay, so there are many ways that we can channel. I do personally find that clairaudience is one of the best clairsenses to have very acute if you want to channel. You can channel by channeling verbally. Some mediums will go into a full trance channel where they just are kind of like, what did I say? Mostly, actually, the mediums that are coming forward that are on the planet right now are of high enough skill that they have an awareness even if they fully step aside. But you likely have heard of experiences where, and I think that this probably has what Spirit is bringing into my mind and heart to share with you right now in this moment is perhaps you've had an experience like that before. If you have ever gone under hypnosis or you have ever experienced a past life regression, sometimes our own consciousness can go so deeply aside and another expression of ourself, a voice will come through us that our consciousness doesn't necessarily have a memory of. Sometimes this happens in our sleep too, right? But we're becoming more and more aware, and Spirit is guiding me to share in this moment, the more you consciously practice this, obviously the better you're going to be at doing it in your conscious, awake life. Now, you don't just have to channel through your mouth. I did a little puppet move here for you. It's not just about vocal channeling or moving into a trance or some kind of a relaxed state to bring through knowledge. You can do channel writing as well. This was super powerful for me in my own waking up process. Anybody familiar with the book Conversations with God? This is, I'll give you a little insight pretty much to how I work. I pretty much think I can do just about everything. There aren't a lot of tasks that I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do that. I guess my mind just doesn't explore thinking about those because there are plenty of things on this planet that I could not accomplish. But I tend to allow my curiosity to draw me towards experiences where I'm reading or learning about something new that I feel inspired that I can do too. When I read Conversations with God, what Neale Donald Walsch did was he would pose a question and then he would just write out unedited what came through. I was like, I can do that. And I began to do it, and I began to be very like, whoa, when I went back and read what was coming through. Because I was asking about specific questions in my own life and seeking more dynamic understanding about me and the nature of me. I guide my Akashic Records students through this process too, through the prompting of the questions in that etheric space to recover those answers. But channel writing is another really, really powerful way to use your clairaudience. And I find that when I was writing, it was like I was hearing what was coming in. Okay, so beautiful. I'm going to bring through some energy right now. One, to continue to activate the clairaudience that's already been brought in for us. And for those of you who get excited, you're like, oh yeah, I think I'm working on my clairaudience too. And you feel the connection that this is building your skills to move into channeling. I want to acknowledge that. That is right on. That is what I am getting. If you resonate with that, you may receive that energy. So to whatever degree, and maybe you don't feel like, I'm not really at the place where I want to channel right now. Fine. Just receive the clairaudient part, just so you can hear Spirit more dynamically. And just type in yes to receive this energy. All right, that first round is to activate the clairaudience. For those of you who want to channel, and like I said, if you don't want to channel, you don't have to receive this. That's cool. Don't receive it. I invite you to be brave enough to not receive this. Okay? Know yourself authentically. That has been a big theme and topic in what I've been showing up and sharing, because the cosmic energies that are moving over the course of this summer with eclipse season are designed to illuminate your authentic self. Speak your truth. Not every new age light worker, healer, you don't have to channel if you don't want to channel. Okay? There's just as much value for those of you guys who are learning more about yourself in this moment, and fine-tune it even more. Make sure you're not scared to channel. You know the difference. Okay? Beautiful. All right, let's move on to another question. Debbie Olson Young, you are a Buddhist of the past 25 years. Chronic pain, insomnia, fatigue, life. Nice. All right, anybody who is experiencing chronic pain, I want to share with you a recent development that has come in for me in the past several months. to work with inside of your Akashic records to understand and release chronic pain, whether this is emotional pain or physical pain. So if you are in emotional or physical pain chronically in your life, say yes right now, and just that yes is like an identification of the receiving of the energy that we're bringing in for you right now. Okay. I invite you, and many of you I've worked with, and you know how to move into the space of your Akashic records, or you know how I do it. How I do it is not the only way to do it. There are a variety of different ways to do it. I'm not going to spend time right now going into how to open your records. Feel free to reach out to me if you want more of the information on how I personally do it. The way that I take my students in is unique to me and the lineage of students and clients that work with me. But you'll find many ways, and there's nothing to say that my way is the only way, but I will invite you to explore moving into your records anytime that you're doing this kind of shifting and healing work on yourself, because you are in the presence of your timeline in a way that allows shifting and healing forward and backward through time. It's a very powerful space to do the work. So I invite you to move into the space of your records. And where is the chronic pain? You got to be able to locate where the chronic pain is. All right. When I went through the research program with my own process of testing this, we worked with the Chinese philosophy, the ancient Chinese medicine of where the organs store the particular energy. Okay, you may find that you have chronic shoulder pain, which is not one of those organs. The organs that I worked with were the lungs, which hold sadness. Your heart holds the unforgiveness. Your liver holds anger. Your kidneys hold fear. Your stomach, the belly, holds the worry. Okay, spleen holds anxiety. If you're like, I got shoulder pain, I said, okay, you know, if you have pain in one of these other places. But I want you to recognize that there is an emotional connection to the chronic pain that you're storing. I invite you to go into the space of the Akashic records, tap. I'm going to tap on my shoulder just for you rebels out there. You're like, it's not my organs. Okay, fine. So it's in your bones. Tap on it. How many are familiar with the Ho'oponopono prayer? I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I want you to open up your Akashic records, do some tapping, and do that clearing prayer. Okay? This will begin to release the patterns that are being replicated from the data, from the memory that is stored in that area of your body, because that's what we do with energy. We store it in data, store it in the body. The tapping will bring it up, and the prayer will clear it for you. We'll begin clearing it. You might have to work with this more than for 2 minutes. I don't know. You're all different. But it is my pleasure to share that recent protocol and insight that came in through my guides in the Akashic records. And I have been using it with tremendous release in my life. I'm going through a lot of shifting and changing right now, and finding places where I've stored a lot of things like shame, anger, guilt, frustration, sadness, unforgiveness. I've stored it deeply in my body. And this process has allowed me to release and transmute it, and to move into what feels like a really healthy, grounded, clear space. Now, when you're going through big transitions in your life, no, not every single moment is easy, but there's practice and there's community that you can connect with that will help you ignite your skills and move through the process. Okay? So anybody who, let's see, what do we want to bring in? Definitely want to bring in support for anybody who is experiencing anything chronic. Bringing in that support, that guidance, that protocol that you need. And I'm going to challenge you guys right now. If you have chronic pain, I want to challenge you to get your own protocol. Like I said, this is a sacred container. I have opened the space. I know that many of my students are here, and just their presence brings in more open space. I want you to see how good you are at this. I want you to close your eyes right now, take a deep breath in, and allow yourself to receive your own protocol to clear your chronic pain. And it may match similarly to what I shared with you, and maybe something totally different. But I promise you that the process of you engaging your imagination in this moment and activating your own medicine, activating your own connection to divine wisdom, is as much a step in the right direction as if the problem were to disappear right now. All right? Sometimes it takes this level of playing and dancing with your shitty shit that allows you to upgrade your skills enough that you can shift it. Okay? Ooh, my third eye just went off. Who receives that? Who heard that? Let's hear it. All right, good job. We have time for another question, so let's dive in some more. Laura Sloan White, I saw your comment about your clairsentience coming in, and then I saw another one that caught my eye that said you don't know much about the clairs. I love both of those because we have a free resource on our website. I'm going to type in the website right now. That is a class all on your clairsenses. It will teach you how to identify them more dynamically and give you super practical exercises that you can do to strengthen those. Because AKA SHIC, got it. Because our clairvoyant senses are like muscles and they atrophy when we don't use them. So you need to be aware of where these muscles are and how to get to them. And that's exactly what we give you. So I left the website there for you. Keely's here. Hi, Keely. I'm glad you felt that. Hello, Elizabeth. Deborah, yes, I feel like you have just answered that for me. Thank you. I received that. Thank you. Linda Babb, what about chronic weakness in my legs? Thank you for being here, Linda. Okay, so some of you are going to fit into one category on this, and some of you are going to fit into another category on this, okay? So I want you to allow yourself to resonate with whichever one is the most meaningful to you. Some of you are experiencing, and the first thing that came in, Linda, and I'm going to share them in the order that they came in. The first thing that came in is stability. Stability. A lot of times our back is stability, but for you, it's a stability of standing in, Linda. I feel like you've had the rug swept out from underneath you more than once, okay? Some of you, and Linda, you might resonate with both of these in both similarly, and you guys, you can resonate with more than one, by the way. You can pick A and B at the same time. Some of you might resonate more with the idea of imprisonment and immobility, the ability to make forward progress or to move towards your freedom. Okay, so for anybody who feels like the rug has been pulled out from underneath them, you don't feel confident standing in your authentic self, you don't even know who the hell your authentic self is, sitting in this transmission for you, like I said, feel free to receive them both, but type yes to receive. Okay, Linda, they're bringing in, and they're doing a lot with protocol today, so I feel like we have some advanced magicians in the house who are activating to creating more protocol. They're bringing in 528 hertz for you. This is known as the miracle frequency. This is a solfeggio scale frequency, an ancient harmonic scale. 528 hertz is known to rebuild DNA in scientific labs. So I would highly recommend finding on YouTube a binaural beat or a binaural beat combined with the solfeggio scale and listen to that. It's very, very powerful in healing of broken DNA. And that's for you guys. It's not just for broken DNA in the knees and legs. Use it for broken DNA anywhere. Okay? All right. For those of you who would like to receive the energy, the courage and the freedom to explore, to walk again, put one foot in front of the other and rise. Get some. You can type yes to receive this. I invite you to notice too, notice the qualities of these energies. Can you feel any difference in the vibrational frequency of the energy? Do you feel a difference in the place that you receive it? It's okay if you say no. I just want to bring your awareness to your subtle energy body so you can begin to know it more dynamically. Begin to attune your awareness to where and how you're receiving this energy. That gives you an upgrade in your psychic senses too. Okay? Good job, everybody. It is time to wrap up for today. So I want to invite each and every one of you who resonate with this kind of work. If you are at the stage where you want to dive in more deeply, but you're not sure if you can do it, or maybe you can, you feel like you can do it, you've done it a few times, maybe you know that you can do it, but you are looking for that place where you can dive in and learn in a sacred classroom with other light workers, I want to invite you to reach out to me. There are many opportunities for you to dive in and begin learning with us. The easiest is by joining us inside the Akashic Academy, inside of our membership program. I am sharing this information with you right now. Those of you who would like to check out this link, let me explain how it's going to work. You're going to click the link that I just put in. It's going to take you to a very special experience that, trust me, you do not want to miss. It is a process of releasing ancient wisdom from your bones, and you will feel it if you do it. Palpably in your body, you will feel it. This is a 2-minute activation. You will then be invited to put your name in the box, your name and email in the box. We're going to send you a video tour of the Academy so that you understand exactly what's going on inside of our membership program, how you can plug in, and please use the code SACRED4. When you're checking out, you will get $40 off of your first month. I want to invite you guys to join us. If you are ready to drastically step up your own skills, you are ready for a quantum level journey of healing, of knowing the true you, loving the true you, and expanding into using this cosmic knowledge that is available for us to create new protocols, to create new technologies, I want to invite you to reach out to me personally, because diving in and learning to read the Akashic Records can be your ticket to experiencing that. I would love to show you how it works, show you how good you are at it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Robin McClendon is coming up next, and you got to check out Robin. She is a soul sister and incredibly powerful. The day finishes up with Rhonda and Boggy too, so you just got to hang out all the rest of the afternoon. Thank you guys, and I'll see you here next time.